What's your relationship like currently with A-Reece?
There was a situation, I guess, with A-Reece about 2 years ago.
Don't forget, Words was in university and the boy told him, listen, leave school, we got this.
With A-Reece, it's like constant raps, and sometimes it feels like the topic is being repeated.
A-Reece's biggest hits came from Paradise.
A-Reece has this thing of just wanting to disappear.
I mean, is it possible that Raquel Jones's influence could have been part of the reason TWC split?
No, you're not A-Reece. You're kidding, right?
No, I'm saying it.
The guy committed to failure.
So everybody hates Reece, right? Everyone has something to say about A-Reece, including myself.
And for me, I think on a commercial scale, that album is a 5.
For the past 10 years, A-Reece has undeniably been one of the greatest South African rappers. You know what I'm saying? But his career is not only defined by just his talent. You know, it's also by the countless feuds that we've seen him be a part of. You know, falling apart of certain relationships, like his idol turned rival, Mr. Casper Nyovest, his biggest op in the industry, Nasty C, losing his childhood best friend Words, dissolving of the Wrecking Crew, whatever he has going on with the smaba named K-Kid. I don't know what's going on there. But you guys get the point, right? Is A-Reece the victim, or is he a perpetrator? You know, is he a victim of betrayal, jealousy, and envy?
What do you think about South African hip-hop?
Most of it is whack.
Hip-hop is dying a slow death, bro.
Exactly.
Shout out to all the kids that get on radio.
And for you to tell me that he doesn't write most of his lyrics.
You know, I watched, I don't know who's this guy, Brando is saying.
I'm not the kid you remember from back in the day with an innocent image. Nah.
Hip-hop, nigga!
I'm giving orders, he not on my level. That nigga is just an apprentice.
Yeah, boy. Isn't that what it says? Hip-hop doggo.
So in the early 2010s, Mr. Casper Nyovest was at the peak of his career, representing what success in South African hip-hop looks like, you know, and A-Reece, just an upcoming kid trying to find his way, you know, looked up to Casper for many of his qualities, like his entrepreneurial spirit and just him being an OG in general. So in 2014, A-Reece decided to release a whole song for Mr. Casper Nyovest.
How could this happen so quick? This shit is crazy, unbelievable, G. Could it be because Usaini Lake and double HP? Could it be because his beat selection's dope and unique? Or simply because he's working hard and reaching his peak? God damn, this Casper picture's really killing me, B. No jealousy, I'm motivated and applauding, you see.
I have two theories to the foundation of this so-called beef, right? And the first one is really not serious, but I think after A-Reece kind of publicly glazed Mr. Casper Nyovest, he wanted Casper to put him under his wing. Like, he wanted a bigger response and a better response. You know, a retweet wasn't enough for him, bro. I made a whole song for you and you're just gonna retweet it. I think he wanted to be what Casper is to Double HP.
First in the song is actually Casper's picture as a whole, like his picture that was posted on Facebook by his, can I say, mentor, like Double HP, you know, with his 4 walls on that bed sleeping and whatnot, you know, that inspired me, you know, like he came up in the game not that long, but already has 4 walls, you know, so it was like, it was inspiring. So I thought maybe I should write a verse about that.
So you're actually a fan? You're a fan. You like? Are you a stan? Are you a Casper stan?
Should I say it on camera or something?
Yeah, I'm
a stan. I'm a stan. It's cool. So.
The second theory is straightforward. I just think it is difference in ideologies. You know what I'm saying? We know A-Reece, he's a very integral and important part in speaking for the culture. You know what I'm saying? So I just think he didn't mess with how Casper was using his cultural influence. And yeah, man, he just realized the people we looked up to when we were younger are not the people we think they are once we're older, once we're in the same space as them.
Right now, hip hop is quite dope, put in close brackets.
Okay, so a lot of people might have assumed that during this time, A-Reece was speaking to the whole culture in general, like the OGs in general. Because if you guys remember, the young'uns were beefing with the OGs. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the young'uns were really at beef with the OGs, right? And it could have been a shot at AKA, KO, Casper. You know what I'm saying? But I personally think it was a direct shot at only Casper Your Vest. Because this was the time when bro thought he could give us sweet and short. Are you serious?
Where he said he actually tried to reach out to A-Reece this past week. I don't know if it was this week or maybe it was a week before that. But nonetheless, he did try to reach out because he's like, yo man, I really dig your music. I'm trying to make some moves with you. A-Reece is just straight blue taking him Twitter, WhatsApp, phone calls, DMs, zonke.
No offense to Casper, and I mean, I definitely wish A-Reece could triple and quadruple up on the answering the phone when it's things that can serve him, because there are those things. But no offense to Casper, I really don't think A-Reece is down in terms of Casper's music. You already said it in the BET cypher, remember? He said
in the cypher.
In the cypher, he said now rap. Wait. He said now rap. When did rap become kwaito? And Reece is very there. And like I said, no disrespect to Casper. I don't think where Reece is going and the market that he wants, I don't think he wants to dilute it. This is what I'm thinking. You know?
Okay.
This is what I'm thinking.
So there was a time when Casper Your Vest completely disrespected the culture. I don't know how we'd let this happen as the hip-hop community, but this guy left the hip-hop culture because he wanted to do Amapiano. He said, there's no more money here, it's not popping anymore, so I'm going to the other side.
Because I said, switch the piano like vultures. I wasn't taking a shot at him.
You're taking a shot at Casper.
I was taking a shot at everybody.
And people are now like, but A-Reece is jealous of an OG who's doing better than him and all of that. Nah. A-Reece and AKA have this thing of speaking for the culture when someone needs to stand up and speak for the culture. And I respect that because no one else did that. No one else spoke to Casper and told him that, bro, we respect you and all, and we respect that you're trying to change your sound, but that doesn't mean that you should be dissing this culture. And Bruce Wayne, A-Reece wasn't dissing Casper. He was just telling him that, yo, yeah, we get it. You can change your sound, but don't diss this culture. And I bet you're going to be coming back because you need some clout and some dividends. What did he do? He came back and dropped on the same day as Nasty C. Like, are we seriously letting this guy do this? And then he came back again recently after the Nasty C tour and everything. And he's like, yeah, you know me, I'm not doing hip hop anymore. I'm doing gospel.
Talking about music, are you still making music?
I am, a little bit. I'm making gospel music now, I won't lie.
So take me to the journey. How Shapa gospel? Are you making like hip-hop gospel or you're Rebecca Malope now? Like,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah? Yeah, what?
Ngarabe, ngarabe se, ngarabe. I don't know.
I'd hate my idol too if he did that. I'm serious, I'd hate my goat too. So I don't blame A-Reece. People are like, A-Reece burnt a bridge that could have helped him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. A-Reece doesn't need Casper. He, like, at all. He doesn't need him at all. Even a song with them together wouldn't make sense because they're on two different parts and two different levels. You know what I'm saying? And I just can't get the fact out of my head that we let Casper disrespect the culture. That is crazy.
His thing was just like, I said something about cough syrup, I think, and I think he tweeted something, and that tweet was just funny for me, and I said, I'm not even trying to be part of this. I blocked him, I moved on, because I know that any response, then it's a back and forth, then it's diss tracks, then it's like, do I really want to do this at this point in my career with somebody as well who's not on, you know, on my level, you know, I've got a lot to lose. So I didn't want to entertain that. The other thing is, for me, was very disappointing, because like, not you, you know, you're the one guy I've been rooting for, you know, throughout my career, you know, when you fell off with Ambitious, or when you had your fallout with Ambitious, I was the guy who was still calling you and say, yo, here's a show, you know, my beat. I mean, F&B. You know, we've had a dope relationship, and then to turn around and then you do that, for me, it's like, it's a bit disappointing.
Putting me over the medication.
So, and I mean, that's the attitude with these kids. Like, they just like, fuck everybody.
Oh.
In 2015, 2016, A-Reece, Nasty C, MT, Shane Eagle. They were the forefront of the hip hop, the new wave. You know what I'm saying? Sadly, Nasty C and A-Reece were those two that were going to be put together, because this is hip hop and everyone has to be battle tested. If you were great, you need to go through competition. We know hip hop, right? And this situation started at an ambitious entertainment BET cypher. If you guys remember, and I do not sound like David, get the out of here. That's where it started.
I like Nasty C's music at the time, just like how I like it now, you know? But, hey, I'm trying to be out there too, and I thought it was healthy competition, so I done did it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I just did it. I was like, yo, let's go. Like, he became obsessed with trying to beat Nasty, let me put it that way, you know? He just screwed it all up, and I had to stand for myself at the same time, you know? And I took it to myself to say, okay, I'm gonna refer to the pen. And I was like, yo, I do not sound like David. I don't. You know, on a verse, MTV-based cypher, actually. But then, fast forward, Nasty C, A-Reece, same show, East London, same plane, same flight. You know, we land, he pulls up on me. He's like, yo, let me holler at you. You know, and I'll forever respect him for that. He's like, yo, let me holler, let's talk. Yo, this is what the people want, you know? What's going on?
This is hip hop, right? Friendly competition is always a thing. And for you to be a great, you need to be battle tested, my guy. Like, it can't be, you know what I'm saying? So, I agree with Reece, with what he did. Aware, fair, you know? But, if A-Reece didn't say that whole I do not sound like David thing, we wouldn't even have a beef. It wouldn't exist. These guys would be friends.
As the new wave that was coming up, you know, people like to make the comparisons and shit like that, and likes to put people against each other and that type of shit. And I guess after that, it just became like little petty shit, like disrespect, this and that, mentioning the other person's name where you really shouldn't. It just became some shit like that. And it's like, it's tension and friction there, but it's not really based on anything real. It's like, if you were to try and trace it back to what really happened, there's nothing there. It's some dumb shit, you know?
Here's the thing that I have with the whole A-Reece and Nasty C comparison, right? We can't compare the two. They're not on the same level. One is a lyricist. One is a double entendre guy. You know, like, he's just in his pen. A-Reece is the most skillful South African rapper right now in our time. You know? The other's a global star. The other is he's a machine. He's a hit-making machine. You know, he's commercial. He's that guy. We can't compare the two. If we needed to put people against each other, it should have been MT and Nasty C. You know, that would make more sense. And I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm speaking for the hip-hop culture when I say I would rather see an A-Reece and Pretty Ugly battle.
My birthday to a rapper's worst day. Had to turn my birthday to a rapper's worst day.
I'd rather see that than an A-Reece and Nasty C beef. And not that I'm saying that A-Reece is going to cook Nasty C, but I do think there's more chances of A-Reece cooking Nasty C, right? But I'd just rather see A-Reece and Pretty Ugly. I think that would be more entertaining. That would be crazy, right? But yeah, man, the origins of this beef started way back in 2015, 2016. And I think it kind of still is going on today, but I don't think Nasty C is there. I don't think Nasty C understands this beef how A-Reece understands it. A-Reece understands that as the two greats of this generation, there's gonna be a time where we need to go head to head. There's no way. Kendrick and Drake, you know, Jay-Z and Nas, Tupac and Biggie, AKA and Cass. It just has to happen. And A-Reece understands hip hop. But with Nasty C, he is just looking out for himself. He's looking out for what he's trying to get out of his own career. He's looking to make hits. He's looking to make music. That's what he's looking at, you know. And this is why I'm saying A-Reece should probably shift his direction at looking at a Matlera Dope Boy or looking at a Pretty Ugly. I think that would be a bigger beef for South African hip-hop, right? Although I do think these two are still taking shots at each other.
This new God flow is nothing like the son of David. I'm back, but
I don't want nothing to do with you niggas. Have fun in the Matrix. Now be here.
I don't get the comparison, right? I think we shouldn't even have put these two together. It doesn't make sense. They're looking for two different things in the industry. It's like comparing Stogie T to AKA, right? And I'm not like trying to disrespect A-Reece by comparing him to Stogie T, or disrespect Stogie T by comparing him to A-Reece, or Nasty to like vice versa. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make an example, right? But it's like doing that. They both doing different things in the game. Stogie is an OG in his lane, AKA he's an OG in every lane.
Oh, bro, the glazing is crazy, bro.
That's the last thing I want to say about this beef. Hopefully they make up. I wouldn't want to see them beef. Please, like in the comments, please put like, am I crazy for wanting a Pretty Ugly and A-Reece beef? Let me know.
And that's what Zach was saying. It doesn't matter if MT can diss Nasty C. We want it to be thingy today. Yeah, we want it to be A-Reece. Yeah, we want it to be A-Reece.
Ah, that'll be war, bro.
Yeah,
fuck, that'll be so exciting, bro.
Oh man, this one is a bit tough for me. You know what I'm saying? I just have one question for every single person in the Wrecking Crew. I don't want to blame anyone for the group splitting apart. I just want to ask, are you guys justified? Like, do you guys think you did the right thing? That's all I want to know. Like, does the Wrecking Crew think they did the right thing by the group splitting up? Because for the short period of time that they had in South African hip-hop together, top 5 groups of all time, right? Argue with your mom. But top 5 groups of all time. And I get it, right? RCR is doing well. You know, Reece kind of found a new sound with Michael Tui. You know, it's not too different, but it's different to what he was making with Mash. And it seems like RCR has no problems. It's moving smoothly. This is like A-Reece's first movement that is going perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Words can manage to drop without needing A-Reece anymore. I think he still needs Mash, but he can drop and get his own time. You know what I'm saying? Mash beats Summer Award, Mercedes-Benz, Abu Dhabi, producing for the whole industry. Flame has become people's goats. Flame is that artist who... Flame is our party next door. Right? I remember I posted like something like this and I was like, Flame is better than Party Next Door. Not in terms of vocals and everything. Singing, just talent, yeah, maybe Party. But songwriting, making a song, making that kind of thing, putting you in that feeling, Flame. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he is the Party Next Door of South Africa. He has his own fans and his own group, right? Everyone is good. You know, everyone is good.
You got niggas that are known, you got niggas that still need to get known. How about we all use each other?
Yeah.
Hop on my record, I'll hop on your record. People start gravitating towards you. People that know me start, you know, you create your own fan base, and then from there you do your own thing. But it was misrepresented at some point along the line, you know, because a lot of niggas, bro, egos, pride, all that shit. So, but honestly, initially, bro, it wasn't even about, oh, A-Reece is gonna sign everyone. You know, the crew broke down because A-Reece. No, it's not really about that, bro. Niggas know. Everyone at the end was supposed to be having their own thing going on.
Yeah.
I think A-Reece didn't realize that he didn't just lose friends or business partners. He lost like a creative system that works, bro. You know what I'm saying? They all lost a creative system that works. You know, because I think if Flame was still a part of the Wrecking Crew, he'd be consistently dropping. If A-Reece was still a part of the Wrecking Crew, he'd be consistently challenging himself because he'd be hearing different music, he'd be hearing Flame's music, he'd be hearing Word's music, he'd be hearing different beats that Mash is making, he'd be at a position where people don't say the things they say about him, like he's not evolving, he's not doing this. I think the evolving conversation wouldn't be a part of the topic if he was part of the Wrecking Crew.
I'm talking about the holding hands. I'm talking about those type records. I'm talking about that.
Come on, Reece fans. You're a Reece guy. Speak on Reece. What's a record like after the TWC shit that you could say go crazy? He's got some records, I'm sure he does.
He got, but I'm saying on that magnitude.
That's why I can't think of one right now, so I want to put it on the floor.
There it is. I'm giving you a solid perspective.
I think the only person who would have been injured from the Wrecking Crew still being strong and staying strong and wouldn't have grown is Mash Beats. You know, I think Mash Beats is one guy who could have left the Wrecking Crew, because today I think he's bigger than the group. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to add my 2 cents to how the story started, because there's too many stories of how it ended and all of that and whatnot. And I'm not a journalist. I hate when people say I'm a journalist, or I'm not that. I'm just a hip-hop fan who dives deep into these stories and we speak about them, you know. And what I want to speak about is the fact that Reece is the one poking these guys. Reece is poking these guys, bro. I mean, let me take y'all back, right? Let me take y'all back. Now, Reece and his big brother, right, dropped a tape called The Blue Tape, right? They had songs like The Confrontation, where they were just going ham on the Wrecking Crew.
That's a fair point.
If you coming at us, your record label is called Revenge Club. Okay, revenge with who?
He's coming for revenge.
Okay, with who? With us? My guy, I make no money.
I'm gonna have to sit him down here. I don't know.
Let me tell you this. I make no money from all the music we made in TWC. I'm not even registered on the songs.
Yeah. What does that mean? Break that down. What do you mean when you're saying that?
It means the money that he's making from all those streams of all those records. There's every project that is on the chart right now. Reece Effect, like songs like Karma and all of that. I'm on those joints. I receive no cent from it. I receive nothing from it. I've let you go. I've moved on.
Yeah. Nothing from the TWC catalog?
Nothing from the TWC. I can show you right now.
And other members?
Other members, Echo had to fight for his. And he only got L3. I just spoke to Words right now. Words has never seen a cent from L3, which is one of the biggest projects ever. They went head to toe with Touch My Blood at that time when it dropped. We dropped in the same time with Touch My Blood. I remember. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Niggas are not eating off of that. So since all that's the case, move on. You've already got all the money of everybody's sacrifice and efforts. And if we had to be right, everybody deserves their split. But
he had a song recently where he rapped this.
I heard niggas got beef in the hood. I'm so good, I ain't gotta wish a nigga would. How you outside and you don't get booked?
So yeah, man. Firstly, we're never gonna hear a Mash Beats and A-Reece song again. We're never gonna hear a Flame and A-Reece song again, bro. Imagine the Flame and A-Reece song right now. Sure. But yeah, I think relationships that are cooked when it comes to the Wrecking Crew, Words and A-Reece will never make up. Mash Beats and A-Reece, they'll never make up because of Words. You know what I'm saying? But I do see some lights for Flame and A-Reece. I'm not gonna lie, I do see some lights for Flame and A-Reece, because Flame is cool with J Jody. I saw them in a picture one time, they were together, and you know, I think there's a possibility of things becoming good there. And Flame always represents and stands up for A-Reece even after what happened. You know what I'm saying? So please.
Because there's nobody in this whole fucking country or fucking continent, there's no better duo than me and Reece. Ain't nobody that can make better music than me and Reece together. So me and Reece will make music together just when the time is right. I just need y'all right now to understand.
Our next one on the up list is Usmamane, right? And I don't know how this started, but I'm guessing it started off with Usmamane saying he was gonna keka everyone. Well, he said he keka'd everyone.
You know?
Yeah.
So the screenshots were saying, damn, cause like, am I staying in Coyote? It was a lot of supporters. Yabo. So it was like a thing of, okay, and so many lists go number one in these guys. So Durban lingo is like, look. But it's not a bad thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on that Kendrick Don when he said I'm coming for Drake and whatever. And
if you guys ask me, right, this is hip hop. I don't have anything against what Usmamane did. But if you are like me and you agree with me, then you also have to agree with what A-Reece did, right? By deciding to drop on the same day as Usmamane. A lot of people were like, nah, A-Reece, you shouldn't have done that. You were supposed to hold his hand into the game. Whatnot, he's a new kid. Give him his shine. Give him props. This is hip hop. And this is one problem that I have with South Africa, right? Is that we are diluting what hip hop is. We are taking out the essence of hip hop. Every time someone speaks about a battle or a fade or a beef, people are like, why are you trying to make people fight? Why are you trying to be negative? It is not negativity. It's just the history and culture of hip hop, bro.
Also with hip hop, there's a lot of ego involved, a lot of, you know, so it's really like you're supposed to feel like you're the best. Everybody from the highest to the lowest guy, you're supposed to at least feel like you're the best. So
that's what it just is. You guys are stripped, like you guys are ruining hip hop. Let A-Reece and Nasty C go head to head, bro. Didn't Drake and Kendrick make hip hop a topic again? Huh? Doesn't Composure still play on the street? Like, don't you hear Composure on the street? Didn't that beef do a lot? Like AK and Casper, didn't that do a lot for SA hip hop?
You know, and as men, this is rap, dog. You know, it's a sport, it's a challenge. I mean, egos will clash, people will not get along. This thing happens everywhere. This thing happens in bloody offices and in Fortune 500 companies. You know, there's people who don't like each other, basically.
One thing that I always respect Mamizi for is that he didn't back down, right? Every time A-Reece pops out and says something, people like backing down. There's that other guy who said, Revenge Club could never touch my shit. Couple of them Zan, but y'all lack those hits. And then A-Reece said something, and then he kept quiet. A lot of niggas are scared of Reece, bruh. And for the fact that Usmamane, the new kid on the block, decided to have a song on his deluxe project kind of directed at Reece and his fans, I think that was crazy, right? Because I may agree with Reece on dropping on the same day as Usmamane, right? But we can't be angry at the fact that Usmamane said he was gonna get at A-Reece, because he did. He did get at A-Reece in he get at everyone in 2024. He had the biggest song of hip hop in the country last year. Well, not even of, he had the biggest song in the country last year. You know what I'm saying? For a certain period, Uvalo was like the biggest song in the country. He had the biggest hip hop project of 2024. It's not the best for me. Pray for Pitori is the best for me, but he had the biggest project, so he did get at everyone. You know, he humbled Reece. Reece couldn't deal with being humbled, so he was like, okay, I'm gonna drop mad. And another thing I feel like Usmamane was a part of Reece's rollout. You know, he was a part of A-Reece's rollout. He was a part of the promo. You feel what I'm saying? Because he carried this on with Mad, and why I feel like Mad is gonna get debunked is because he's talking about Usmamane not having a backbone and speaking to, he looked into the devil's eyes, whatnot, basically saying that he's signed and he's working with the white man, whatnot. Reece, you also played by a record label. Let's not forget that. Yeah, we get it, you're independent now, you did a lot. But when you also came into the game, you also looked into the devil's eyes. Well, you looked into Khosi's eyes. You know what I'm saying? So let's not do that. And you're actually saying that he was posing with a Belair bottle and this and this and this. And then we found a picture of, well, he found a picture of you posing with the Belair bottle. The only difference is you're not on a live with Rick. He's on a live with Rick. He got a song with Rick.
I am a fan, but I just don't like how his supporters always come at me, you know? So it was just like, you know, because like a lot of people and also him, I guess, on Twitter, he took it there and just like was on some, you know what, I'm putting it on your face, in your face, that yo, I'm number one and you independent, wada wada. And you know what, it was so crazy. But I don't think I'll ever diss him. I'm still a fan even now, even though they don't think I am a fan.
Yeah.
Still bump him. I couldn't even bump his album because like I dropped the same day. So there was that feud.
So I don't know, man. I think Reece could have handled the situation better. It's also like the Kane Keith situation, right? Kane Keith just went to a podcast, said what he said, and the Slimes decided to go at it.
With A-Reece, it seems like it's always betrayal, it's always friendships, it's always, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I've had like a wide enough
Catalog.
versatility
Wow.
from
You're making
Reece.
a lot of sense.
You know what I'm saying?
So obviously, I don't know if this is a beef, if this is a whatnot, because I don't want to reach this year. You know, I don't want to reach this year and say he was Kane Keith dissed A-Reece and all of that. I've been seeing that around, but I don't want to reach, right? But what I can say is that when this whole thing was happening, there was rumors that Kane Keith was going to be pulled off the DJ Clem project because A-Reece is the executive producer and all of that, right? And then he made it on. I was like, oh, okay, Reece is mature than this. There's no beef. This is just between the Slimes and, you know, Kane Keith, right? Boy, was I wrong. This guy did some Drake shit and unfollowed Kane Keith. Reece, we don't do that. Reece, dog. Reece.
The other stuff I won't actually mention because it's like we could have had a conversation about it, but now it's that. It's like bridges are burnt. So it's seemingly so, and so it's like it could go down either way. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm cool with either way, but it's all love from my side still. Yeah.
So I really think that A-Reece could have handled both of these situations a bit better. You know what I'm saying? For me, I think he shouldn't have said anything to any of them. I agree with the competitiveness of dropping on the same day as Usmamane, but he shouldn't have dropped on the same day as Usmamane because now he's humbled. You feel what I'm saying? But nonetheless, funniest one on this list is Lucas Raps, and that's the last up. For me, angazi Lucas Raps bekayenzani, but anyway, Reece came out to say he's the best rapper in Africa. And Lucas Raps decided to be hella disrespectful. And I'm gonna take off my shades for this one, right? This guy decided to rap on a Pick You Up beat. The last part of Pick You Up, to be specific. Are you insane?
Fuck what's out now, it's just hot now cause I ain't dropped yet. What's coming next is really something else. Name.
And then he decides to do this on the Pick You Up beat.
My pink can hit your liver, make you shiver, turn the sweetness into bitter.
And then all of a sudden, we see you fanning out to A-Reece's music, bro. So this one didn't last long because, yeah, man, Reece just obliterated him. Reece is crazy. Reece is diabolical. For bringing his girl out to the Ving Rhames music video, and then he dances on Lucas Raps' grave with his girl. That is diabolical, bro. That's diabolical. That's crazy.
You step on me, I step on you.
I'm stepping on niggas.
Pretty much.
But with earlier this year with the A-Reece thing, if from outside perspective, it looked like you were starting that though.
I guess, because, I mean, it's A-Reece.
You know. I like that.
You get what I'm saying?
like
But
that
like,
move.
I'm going to ask you as a listener. At what point did I diss him?
New up on the list alerts. New up on the list alerts.
The things that are happening in hip hop are quite interesting, as I saw yesterday on the tweets that Pelosalo and A-Reece kinda had an altercation online in terms of royalties, bro. There's this ex-user who was like, yo man, this is Nasty C's sons, and he names all black Yos, Maman, and whatnot. And then underneath that X tweet, he's like, these are A-Reece's sons. And mentioned there is Bello Salo. Bello Salo was quick to respond to that X user by saying that, yo, I am not this guy's son. I have my own father. And also, it is my fault that I put your favorite rapper on a pedestal until he slimed me out of my royalties.
Like that. I don't feel like going out to mend things with anybody. I feel like I'm in a great space. Like, so I don't feel like I'm obliged to make anything work. I mean, if things should work, then fuck it, the Murphy's Law, man.